We celebrate this feast of St. Thomas Apostle. We know the story, and Thomas is known as the unbelieving or the doubting apostle. This story is somehow taken negatively, but it's not all negative. Thomas has a lesson to teach us about faith. After the death of Jesus, all the apostles were wounded, their faith were wounded. And then when Jesus rose from the dead, there are some who had seen him before others, and there was some doubt if he was really alive. So Thomas decided to get separated himself from the others because of that wound he was holding in himself. So when Jesus appeared to the others, he couldn't believe because of that wounded his heart. He said, "No, I will not believe unless I see him myself and touch his wounds." So that was his doubt, his wound was holding. But when the time came to be with the others, he was able now to see him and touch the wounds. And then he professed his faith, "My Lord and my God." So Thomas teaches us that faith has to be a personal experience with Jesus. When he heard from the other apostles that he is risen, he said, "No, I will not rely on the hearsay. They say that Jesus is alive, but I have not experienced." So when he touched him, that's when he had that personal experience. So the touching was touching the love of Christ, because the wounds, they are the signs of love of Christ for us. He was wounded because of the love for us. So the touching, it was not only Thomas touching the wounds of Jesus, but it was Jesus touching the wounds of Thomas and healed that wound which he had, that doubt of his faith. So by touching those wounds, Thomas experienced the touch of the love of Christ. That's why he was able to say, "My Lord and my God." So the faith now became a personal faith, a personal experience with Christ. That's, I think, all of us have to grow into that level, to have that personal experience with the love of Christ, how we are touched by the love of Christ. When we are touched by that love of Christ, then we can profess that faith, "My Lord and my God."
Thank you for joining us today. Our digital ministry provides a valuable service to parishioners and visitors alike. How wonderful that we can share God's Word, the celebration of the Eucharist, and other important words and events with those who may not be able to be with us in person. If you would like to support this effort, please go to olphglenview.org. Click on the gold donate button and then the Sunday giving icon to make a contribution on our secure online giving portal. We sincerely appreciate your past and ongoing support. Thank you for helping us continue this ministry. God bless.